think we are.
I think we are. Checking out the interwebs. It's true. We are.
We are live!
What's happening, everybody? It's Plausible Deniability. Or is
it? Either way, you know you've got it. Plausible Deniability.
I'll never tell.
I'll never tell.
I need access to chatting.
The nuclear codes. Woohoo! First comment of the evening from Curtis W. Selby. Glad to see you. Glad to see you, man. That's cool.
Stop playing music, stupid channel. I mean, awesome channel. All right. Shout out
to my friend Curtis, who provided me first with the ginger. I'll tilt it this way: ginger beer, like root beer, only ginger beer.
Mm-hmm.
Cock and Bull. So fantastic stuff. Really, really, really love it. So shout out to him for turning me on to that.
I still got to get my hands on some. I can't. We were talking just before the show. Sarsaparilla. Where in town locally do you get that?
I honestly, I'm just not looking in the right places. I guess grocery stores aren't the thing. I've gone to like 3 different grocery stores looking for sarsaparilla. And nada. Like, it's Oklahoma, people. We should help us find it.
Here's a question for you.
Yes.
Isn't sarsaparilla season? Like, you don't just go get pumpkin spice in July. You don't take off in April and get eggnog. Is there a season for sarsaparilla? Sarsaparilla aficionados out there. Do you know? We are not talking about the Witchlight Carnival. It's showing that we are, but we're not.
Oh, we're not talking about that at all.
Spoiler alert. Boom,
woohoo. Boom. You know, CW asks, can we... Well, see, he says, can we mention things that are copyrighted? And then I just called him CW. So, I don't know.
We can. We can mention copywritten stuff all day.
I think we can mention copywritten stuff.
Bo, shut up. Is that Star Wars Ease? Can you quote Jabba the Hutt? You can quote Jabba the Hutt. There we go. I got a chat, obviously. So, yes.
Yes. Woohoo!
Right. Brooke?
Sir.
How you been? Can I call you Brooke on the internet?
You can. You know, it's one of the names I use on the internet. It works. I like it.
Right on. So, I'm buying it.
Yeah. And so far, no one knows. If we get into any of those names that we can't call, then, you know, I'll just don the mask.
You know, what's funny about that is I used the name Zonymous for years on the internet. And I, at a crunch, needed a name for this character. And ever since then, I've gone by Johnny on the internet now. But it's funny because I'll go back and I'm like, I'm gonna play, you know, Neverwinter Online. Let me log in, and I haven't played it in 6 years. Let me log in and take a look. And I log in, and there's a character on there named Zonymous. I'm like, wow, it's like like last played May of 6 years ago. And then I logged into Elder Scrolls Online on the PC for the first time in forever, and I could not remember my name for that account, and so I sent the forget your username thing. It came back Zonymous. That was at least like 8 or 9 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, I've used Zonymous for a long time, starting in MMOs on the internet. I'm sure if I logged into my old EverQuest account, there'd be a character on there named Zonymous for sure.
So is it just like, it's cool, starts with an X? Or was there like a connection or anything? Like
It all started in EverQuest. Really funny thing. We were not on a roleplay server. We were in a roleplay guild though, where it was all the races that kind of aligned to one side of the spectrum. So It was like trolls and ogres and the lizard people and dark elves. And I was looking at dark elves names and stuff, and a lot of them start with X. And I remember I made a character named Zare, Xare. That was my first ever Dark Elf character. He was a warrior. People were like, you can't be a Dark Elf warrior. He doesn't have the stats for it. You're going to fail. And I ended up being raid leader for a guild for almost 10 years. Yeah.
Booyah!
So one day I'm looking, and you can look in the zone and see who's in there. So I'm always checking out names and who's around. And if you do /anonymous, it'll keep people from knowing who you are, so they can't beg you for buffs or transportation somewhere. And the word anonymous kept popping up, and I'm like, I want my name to be anonymous, but not anonymous. So I made Anonymous. I made a character and named it Noni, Anonymous. So I'm doing that.
I want him to be a lizard man when you say his name is Anonymous. I can just hear, I'm Anonymous.
Well, I made her a female dark elf enchanter.
Okay.
And so
the exact opposite of a lizard man.
Yeah. And most enchanters went anonymous because people are always, their buffs are highly sought after. So then I went to make a new character, and I was like, I really like the name Anonymous, though. And I like Zaire. So Anonymous was born. And then from there, it was so many names just like spawned off of that. Yeah.
Dritz got nothing on Zonymous, says Curtis.
Thank you.
The real question is, did I say Dritz correctly?
It's. Were you there when I was telling the story of the Ari Salvatore interview? Someone asked and said, is it pronounced Dritz or Drizzit, or how's it pronounced? And he said, I don't know, and I'm never going to make a choice and tell you, because I want two friends to be standing in a hallway at high school arguing about how to pronounce his name, and the third friend walks up and says, who are you guys even talking about? And they both look at him and say, you haven't read these books yet? You should go spend the money on these books and buy them so the author can get lunch. Yeah, so we got here. We got Hal. What's up?
Woo! Welcome back, boys and girls. That's awesome. What a great list today, guys. You guys are fantastic.
You want to play a Horda rock creature? Is that what you want, Curtis? Is that the Horda you're talking about? I hate that there's such a delay. Oh.
That's fantastic.
It is fantastic. I love it. Anyway, I was asking you a question. How's your week been?
And I don't even know if I said that. I think I did say that it feels like I've been late to the airport every stage of my day, right? You're just running. And like, oh God, I got to do this. And then you change hats, and then you have to go over here and do that, and you duck into the bathroom and change clothes so that the spy can't find you. And then you go over here and you get on that plane. Like that's been, that was my day. It was a great day. Good day at work. Shout out to any of the folks from Memorial. God, they're a smart group of kids this year. Like,
oh, yeah?
They're just great. We went off on talking philosophy of existentialism and mechanism or mechanism and nihilism. They're so smart. I like them. I like them a lot. Don't tell them.
Because they have access to the internet in their back pocket. I mean, most people don't know this, but I was a pretty smart kid in high school, and it's mostly because I carried around an entire set of encyclopedias. I just put them in a wagon and pulled it behind me on the hallway. I need to jump back to Curtis real fast again.
Yo, Carson!
The Horda rock creature from the original series Star Trek, the episode Devil in the Dark.
Devil in the Dark.
Was the first time McCoy said, damn it, Jim, I'm a doctor. Not a
bricklayer.
He said bricklayer because the Horda was injured and Kirk wanted him to repair the Horda. It was just a mother saving their kids, yes. So there you go. We got Carson. Mr. Bullet, Carson is here.
Woo, that's super exciting.
Is that a student?
It's Carson 12. So, don't tell him, but it's the clone. And he's doing a great job. Has a little bit of residual memory, so he knows stuff. Really smart.
Right on. I don't want any of your students to get on and we start talking about, like bad things like last Saturday night.
We weren't going to talk about last Saturday night. You said
there's still a beer stain in the rug in the hallway. I'm not going to forget it. I'm not going to live it down. I'm kidding. Plausible deniability. Welcome, everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen.
So exciting to be back. More
it is.
Difficulties. I want to see if
got rid of the gremlins last week or 2 weeks ago, so that's awesome. We can hear me. It wasn't like Brooke pantomiming different things along those lines. Man, do you want to? See a cola? Yes.
Boom. I'm going to see if I can find a Kinder.
Awesome. Shout out to Carson. He says, Can't stay long, but he's been working his way through the podcast. That's fantastic.
Right
Absolutely fantastic.
Right on.
So,
on the recommendation of a certain Makran.
Yeah,
I hope there's only one Makran. I don't know if the world's ready for more than one.
More than one.
If you cast clone, I may have to find out how to cast banishment.
There was some talk behind the scenes. This is not spoilery, but I did say to a certain leader who's on the other side of the DM screen, that gives it away. I said, so if anything bad happens, could Jasper Smithson possibly do like that simulacrum thing, like that reborn thing? And that just tickled them pink. This idea of, you can look up reborn in the D&D rules, but basically a Frankenstein-esque type version of Makran. Would he still have his sorcery if he's in a new body? Is it in the blood or is it in the spirit? I don't know. But
I'm just imagining the creation of a homunculus in D&D, and so you're just blood. Oh, look.
Oh no.
Isn't he cute? Let's name him.
Bullock doesn't approve of that, but you know who does?
Hey, no, don't do it yet. Don't do it yet. Oh, that's fine. You can do that. Hold that bottle back up.
Yes. Okay.
Speaking
the
of
ginger beer.
Speaking of a nice, cool, refreshing ginger Halfling is in the chat room, ladies and gentlemen.
And
Halfling.
Just like ginger beer, she's non-alcoholic. Only thing you can get there is drunk on happiness.
Right. Let's see.
Frankenmocker.
Oh, friends in Hong Kong and Vietnam are messaging her about catching up this week.
That's
worldwide Makran right there. It's a worldwide.
What we need is a Patreon member from Hong Kong. That would be freaking cool. I don't know how much $5 is in Hong Kong, but that would be freaking cool.
We'll have to get on the internet one day and find out.
And rum, Hal says.
Sobriety's over.
We've got the adult crowd tonight because suddenly they're like sobriety. They're off, boys and girls. Shout out, woo!
Like it's Thursday, it's close enough to Friday. Why am I sober? That's fun. Hey, Jim Joey, how you doing?
That's fantastic. Is it Generation Joey? It's a race of kangaroos. That's what it is.
Is that? I don't know. You're on fire tonight.
I tell you. When he's a little bit exhausted drunk, a little bit punch drunk, then he's funny.
Wow, rent on a 200 square foot apartment is $2,000 USD. They don't have an extra $5 for a Patreon. We'll find out who they are. We will send them some stickers.
We'll send them. This is true.
Yes.
If you're in Hong Kong listening to Red Dirt D&D, you deserve a little bit of swag.
If you're in Hong Kong right now watching the stream, take a screenshot, send it back to us. We'll send you 2 stickers and a hat.
Woo-hoo.
We have hats. It's a secret.
Right Suddenly there. I'm the merch guy, right? Suddenly I'm
the merch guy. The merch kobold is going to get mad. There's going to be an uprising.
But on the plus side, I could be the first human to join the Kobold Union. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said about that. You would probably come up missing. They'd probably make you the leader of the union, and then you would disappear, and it would forever be a mystery of where you as union leader went.
Although there would be a wobbly Brooke that's just slightly taller and always wears a trench coat.
Right.
3 kobolds in a hat. In a trench coat.
3 kobolds in a hat. That would be something. All right. You seemed to have been pretty excited. I'm slipping into. Do you hear me slipping into it every once in a while? Do you hear me slipping? Do you hear me slipping into him every once in a while? I can't help it. There's this other podcast for games called Glass Cannon. It's terrible. Nobody listens to it. And sometimes I slip into
just
that.
A Patreon of like
$1
million or whatever they have.
$81,000 a month. That's all.
It's not an exaggeration.
So, Burke, you're getting pretty excited about a movie coming out soon.
Yes, it is. It is indeed. I cannot wait. Oh, there it is, loading it up. How smart are you? Booyah!
Don't tell people.
I know.
Don't expect more of me.
So without making it a really long story, speaking of existentialism and mechanism, right?
Mm-hmm.
That movie is just fantastic. Now, like most, it kind of goes off the rails a little bit, you know. But at the end of the second Matrix movie, tiny spoiler here, right?
It's been years. There's no spoiler. You've had time.
You've had your chance.
Yeah.
Young people, get out there and watch a movie. Whenever he can still manipulate the machines and they're apparently outside of the Matrix,
right.
That's when I was watching going, oh, they're not out. Like it's a layer. That's not really kind of what they chased in the third and final movie.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm wondering if Matrix 4 trailer dropped earlier this week or last week. I'm wondering if they're chasing that, you know, I've been having these weird dreams and, you know, maybe he's out, but not out. So
I had a theory when the second and third movie was coming out that it was going to end with a zoom in on a. Remember how when they were going to the Machine City and they followed that one giant bundle of cables? And,
yes.
And I thought it was going to like end with one of those, but it popped through a TV screen and went through an Xbox and came out to a controller, and it's like two kids playing the video game. That was way back in the Stone Age when that movie came out. That's what I thought it was. But my a great theory that I've been talking about lately with some other people is that when the Matrix was rebooted afterwards, the avatars of Trinity and Neo somehow got rebooted in the Matrix, and so they feel hollow and empty inside because there's no one outside to give those thought processes in the bubble, you know. And yeah. So look at Hal. Did you see what Hal just did?
This is craziness.
Way to go, Hal.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. Oh, Carson's going to brag about it and then get hit with one. Booyah.
There you go. Yep. Fantastic. But yeah, no, I'm excited definitely for the Matrix. I don't know. Do we need it? Who knows?
Yeah.
But it'd be cool. I think the theory that I have is why it explains why Morpheus is young. Because, like the architect said, it keeps starting over. So it started over, but it's starting over without Neo and Trinity because they're gone, but their avatars are still in the Matrix aging.
That's pretty cool. That's a really great trick.
I like your theory, though, that maybe they made Neo think he was out, and they made Zion think that they won, but they were still,
Yeah.
Who knows these things?
I don't know. It'll be interesting. And like some things, you know, it got so kind of convoluted that it fell back in on itself a little bit. So we'll have to see what they do. But I'm super excited about it.
For sure.
You know, if he's able, and of course he would, by he I mean Keanu Reeves,
mm-hmm.
he would be able to bring all of his John Wick training into the role of Neo or Mr. Anderson, and it could be just really cool. So
yeah, I watched the first Matrix recently after the hype of the trailer dropped, and the scene where him and Trinity go in to rescue Morpheus, and I was just like, this kid doesn't even know how to shoot a gun. He knows nothing yet.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting to see that. But it's whatever Trinity's name was, and then Tom Anderson.
Yes.
That's who it is. Yep. All right.
Do we ever? I don't know that we ever know what her Inside the Machine name was.
We never hear it. No, not in the.
Because it's just their code names, right?
For
on the
video
outside.
Games or anything?
Yeah.
So someone shot his dog. Curtis shot Neo's dog, and that's what helps him free his mind and bend spoons.
There we go. right?
You just need a proper motivation.
That's
what it is. John Wick is a motivational film. You shoot someone's dog, they're gonna get stuff done.
And I'm not making fun of tragedy. I'm not. But when sometimes when really terrible things happen, people say the first step is denial. This can't be happening. This can't be happening. Mr. Anderson loses his dog, and then boom, it breaks him loose.
Whoa,
I like it.
I can't believe this is happening. Free your mind and the rest will follow. Yeah. Be colorblind. Don't be so shallow. There you go. I think Curtis and I probably have the same browser history. And his car. I know his car. Oh, man. And his car. That hurt. That hurt more than anything.
Good stuff. Oh, my gosh. We're just rambling all over the place. It's awesome. Love it.
I love it. Are we going to talk about anything important?
Do we want to dive into like serious subjects for a moment, or keep it light and talk about phone apps and stuff?
I have so many hot button issues that I want to talk about. Like, I can't think of any right now. You want to talk about the truth bomb that got dropped on the day one of Gen Con from
dun dun dun. Oh my gosh.
My goodness. Yeah. Yep. So Jason Bullman of Paizo. Yeah, that's how I woke up that morning and saw a big thing from him on Twitter. I follow him on Twitter. I like Paizo games. They came from D&D, and boy, that was kind of a mess. And that's all I knew of it for a few days was Jason Bullman writing a defensive letter, would you say? To the public, maybe an explanation of his side of the story kind of letter, and seriously not minimizing anything, but from just what he wrote and posted, I'm like, so this guy that's worked at this company for 11 years, like 6 years ago, asked a fellow employee if she'd like to go out on a date, and before she could answer, he said, "Oh, I've been drinking, I shouldn't have asked that, never mind." And then 5 years later, she got a better job, so she left and went to the better job, and now people are mad because it was written really weird. That's how I took it. Was it's like, is this? I mean, not to minimize anything. Like, there's got to be more. This is for sure his side of the story thing because
it totally felt like let me take the one thing.
Yeah, it's like I'm married to my wife because we work together and I asked her out. So then I talked to a friend who GM'd a lot of Paizo stuff. He's got involved in a lot of Paizo stuff, mostly with like third party and contractors and freelancers and stuff. And he was like, "Oh yeah, there's so much more," and sort of talked about how it's just been like a toxic environment in that respect for a while, and people were afraid to say anything because it would implicate someone else who still worked there, and they didn't want them to get in trouble. So apparently, someone quit recently, and then the morning of Gen Con, someone was fired, and then all these truth bombs started coming out, and then Jason Bullman made that statement, and then, oh my goodness, what's going on at Paizo? And then I start looking into this tweet thread that starts off with a complaint about how dirty the carpet was in the Paizo office.
I read the same one.
And I was like, so he asked a girl on a date and then said, "Gosh, I'm sorry, don't even answer that question, never mind." And then they didn't clean the carpet for 7 years. Still had no idea. But then you read into it more and you're like, oh, okay, this is really bad. This is like not...
Yeah, and the thing I think that troubles me a little bit is that one, opinions on the internet, here they come. I hated 4th edition. I love 3rd edition, right? I misunderstood how Wizards of the Coast was stopping publication of Dungeon and Dragon magazine. Magazines are these things that you could flip through like paper, and you
magazines are things that your parents kept in the bathroom to read while you were a kid.
That's true.
You sit down, you read a magazine. Now you got phones.
Now you have your phone. Anyway, but I misunderstood and thought that Wizards of the Coast was really giving the Paizo and the writers and the people who were doing Dungeons and Dragon magazine the shaft. And so when they went to Pathfinder in 3.5, I was like, yes, screw you corporate meanies over at Hasbro. And so I went full speed into Paizo. So I have loved them. And I've really enjoyed what they've done, and it's just been absolutely fantastic. And now this thing comes out, and I have to ask the question, like, are just all corporate leadership nothing but heathen pigs? Like, what is wrong with people?
And that's one of the takeaways from it, is because I listened to a podcast today, and they have dedicated like 9 years of blogging and then podcasting and then doing like actual plays of Paizo products, and they were talking today like, we don't know what we're going to do going forward. And then I have a DM who's Pathfinder, you know, he bleeds Pathfinder, has made the statement of, well, it's the other Tim. That's who it is. It's the other, yeah. So, and he made a statement. He's like, I don't, you know, he just made a statement that kind of made me wonder, you know, how are people going to react to this? Is it really going to be this is maybe the last product I buy of theirs? This may whatever. And I kind of take a step back, and I'm like, let's pretend I work at that company, and this happened, and I'm around it. Do I want my company to fail and go down, or do I want the people who did it to be? So it's not like it's in the Paizo employee handbook. You know, you must you
Right.
must misgender somebody 3 times a month to hit quota, and you must also be misogynistic, and you must. It's not a company thing. It's a individuals who unfortunately have a lot of power at the company thing. So go that's what you give the stink eye to. That's what you turn your nose up to, is those individuals, not the company. Now, if the company comes out and they're like, hey, we support what happened, and there's nothing wrong with it, you people need to grow up, move on, that's a whole different story. But that's not what's happening. They're taking responsibility for it. They're addressing it. They're kind of, during every live stream during Gen Con online this weekend, they all started off with Eric Mona and everything saying, yeah, it's happening. We know it. We're not going to hide from it. We're dealing with it. We're not going to sit here and deal with it in front of you, but it's terrible. It's tragic, and we're working on it.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I don't want to, like, you know, watch the company burn, but at the same time, what's happened doesn't need to continue happening. So the company needs to do better at paying attention to what is going on, and then the people who are doing it need some like heavy counseling or training, or a possibility to explore opportunities elsewhere.
Yeah. It, you know, off of something in the chat, if there's any hope, it lies in the proles. If, you know, things are changing, and these are issues, they've always been issues, but these are unacceptable issues because young people especially, and even though I did that and made fun of it just now, they're really the future. They're really the hope of making things better. And at some point, you know, we will have the young generation playing games now that are going to be running these companies, and there will be sensitivity to, you know, non-Norse viewpoints where we don't see the blinders of why it's bad to make your dark elf hero an other, you know, why that's a bad combination, even though maybe Salvatore didn't see it. And
which Hal mentioned, we'll talk about Salvatore here in a second. It's really interesting stuff. It's because I think there's a lot of weird knee-jerk reaction to it, but yeah. So my takeaway from the Paizo thing is, it's something that probably happens a lot more often than we care to admit everywhere. We just happen to know. We, the public, just happen to know about this one. It's got put out there in the public eye, and that's maybe a good thing at the end of the day. That's how you're going to get someone the right attention that you need to get and get something done and handle with it. But I don't. It's not, like I said before. It's not like part of the company's standard. You know that, and so it's the individual people that you got to look out for.
Yeah.
My students.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it is like they are students, young people today. They understand things a whole lot better than I did. They're a whole lot more aware of the nuances of culture than I ever was. I've had to strive to do that. I still struggle with some things because my brain is programmed a certain way.
Well, it's like we'll have situations where when we were kids growing up, there were certain words you couldn't use, but some that you could. Those words today can't be used. But it was like, oh, don't say, like it used to be like, oh, hey, that does someone drop this pencil? Yeah, it's that black guy over there. It's his pencil. No, you need to say this instead of black guy. And then that thing isn't allowed to be said for you. And then it was so, and that so you got to keep up. You got to grow and change and flow with it.
Yeah,
and I think it started
sure.
to become a moment where I think that was like the term Afro-American came up or African American came up. That finally they started raising their voices and saying, no, we're not from Africa. I'm from like East Texas, man. Don't
Exactly.
It's like there's no one here from And so it's like, oh, you have a voice. Let's listen to what you have to say. And so everything like changed and growed and moved and such. I remember I had a T-shirt in high school that said not black, not white, human.
Oh, that's cool.
I walked past principal one day, and he goes, come in here in my office and talk to me. He goes, I just want to get to know you. Pulls me into his office, sits down at his desk. We're just chatting. He was new that year, and I was a junior. He reaches over and flips a picture around, and it's a picture of him, his white wife, and their beautiful mixed children. Yeah. And we had this great conversation and stuff. He goes, man, I hear terrible things walking down the hall here. It just makes you want to cry and blah, 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 and everything. I'm like, yeah, that's great. I don't think that T-shirt would survive today. Because it would send a wrong message of, oh, so you don't recognize color then. You don't see it. And it's like, no, that's not at all what I saw that T-shirt as saying. I saw it as saying, John Lennon, Imagine, One. It's,
That'd be cool.
So that's the thing is it's great that the youth and the children are picking this up, but don't be like me and like let it slip past you and think, hey, I learned all I need to learn about it. I'm done. and then one day you think you're saying the right thing, and oh dear God, you're not. And then
wait, are you saying lifelong learning?
You've got to keep it going. You got to keep that train trucking. Yeah,
that's fantastic.
Yeah,
that's fantastic. Hal22 says, hey, there's an expansion coming of Mythos. You mentioned Salvatore a moment ago. I'm I think it's awesome. Do you know much about it?
Have you seen much about this, Brooke? With the whole...
I know just enough to get all the names wrong, right?
Right. Okay. So Randall Salvatore... Wait, what's his name? No, I'm kidding. I'm getting the names right. So there's just been a stigma with Drow in D&D for a while, and it's... There's lots of opinions on it, like is it 100% pure fictional and it's a fantasy world, and the Drow weren't meant to be people of color. They were meant to be, they're blue, and that's how you distinguish. Like, how are we going to distinguish the Drow from the other elves that live in trees? Well, let's make them blue, and so it may be like we were just talking. Maybe that was great 20 years ago, and then maybe 10 years ago people started asking some questions. Maybe 5 years ago people started getting uncomfortable, and then here we are today. So Ari Salvatore was like, I'm going to change that in some upcoming books, and I listened to an interview recently. Good news, guys! I'm not doing it. Yay, Ginger. Sorry. So I listened to a podcast recently. I was interviewing him. He was actually on the podcast, and he had said he's not going to do anything overnight, and the changes that he's going to make have been like unattended seeds that were planted over the years in some different novels. So
that's cool.
Like everyone doesn't worship Loth. You just think they do because, I mean, she is a goddess and all powerful and can, really smite you down. But there's secret. It's kind of like this. Man, if only there was more like Drizzt. There are.
100%.
Zach Nefay, he didn't run around and scream it like Drizzt, and he didn't run off and escape. But he was kind of the same philosophy. Like, man, this is crap. This is why are we doing this? Why do we go raid the surface? And there's been seeds over the years planted that he's going to go back and touch on those now, and it's going to become there are parts of the Drow, groups of the Drow, just like there are groups of humanity, and just like, not all Chihuahuas are evil, but I bet some feral rabid Chihuahuas
Well,
that have been left
well,
alone in the forest could probably, take over a
well,
whole town.
Chihuahuas. I'm just
Chihuahuas
saying.
are.
I
I
mean,
should have said Chihuahuas. That was a bad example. Poodles. No, poodles are good. Give me a decent dog. Um, but yeah. So some. So I think that it's a good approach. I think patience will be a virtue, and I think it would be terrible if it was just in the blink of an eye, I'm changing the entire pantheon and history and everything about the Dark Elves, and I don't feel that.
yeah. No, I think it's great. Like we start off, first edition, and you just kind of have elves, and the elves we know are the high elves, and then like what about elves that aren't so civilized, and then you have wild elves, and then well what if we had elves in the sea, and then you have sea elves, and so I think this is really neat that in the same way there are subclasses of surface elves. It maybe he's going to do, hey, look, there's more than in just this little bit of understanding that you have of the Underdark,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe it's going to be drow that have come to the surface and then are hanging out there and have created communities on the surface, so
For sure.
yeah.
What if we had an Elvish impersonator? That's funny. A really good friend of mine, his online name for MMOs has always been Elvish Presley. Yeah.
Wait, some Elvish, right?
So, so someone in the world out there made up a drow language, and when I was in that roleplay guild in EverQuest, we used it. I'm not drunk enough for that. I'm not drinking tonight.
Come on, give us a thank you. Thank you very much. Only in drow. Like, you'd be like, thank you very much.
Belados. And then you would say Dos Aldor.
Dos Aldor.
Dos is you if you hadn't picked that up. Yes.
Ah, very nice.
Belados Usa Abil. Thank you, my friend. It's weird that it's stuck with me.
Nerd.
From like
love it
the
so
late
much.
90s, early aughts. Yeah, for sure.
I can't remember my phone number, but by God,
right.
I remember I can speak a little Klingon. Kapla!
Yeah. Kapla. Hal's got it. Yeah, it sounds like there will be drow cities in the Underdark that don't worship Loth, for sure. And there's also other drow gods that aren't Loth. I mean, there's, what's her name, the Elistria, the one that can't keep her clothes on. She can't stay dressed. Yeah, it's a thing. Don't Google art for her.
No.
Yeah, it's really easy to cosplay that one.
But yet don't.
Right. So hey, real fast, I have dogs.
Okay.
I just realized I'm the only one at the house tonight, and they're yipping at my door to be feeded.
Oh, very good. Are they three-headed?
They will be if I don't feed them soon.
Hold on, I have a more personal question. Are they Chihuahuas?
No.
Okay, then you can take care of them.
It's a Yorkie and a teacup Yorkie.
So cute.
Okay, you take over. I'll be back.
What? Okay, I'll do my best. He does this all the time, ladies and gentlemen. It's one of the weirdest things. Actually, I just made that part up. So, oh my goodness, that's awesome. Checking out in the chat, shout out to Boss Core Gaming. Good to see you. I'm glad you guys are here. That's awesome. Very, very cool. Yay. So one of the things from my backstory of Friends is we were hanging out when Unearthed Arcana first came out, and that was the supplement that allowed drow as a playable race. Unearthed Arcana in first edition of Dungeons and Dragons, Advanced D&D. So we had a group of friends, and one of them, this is like 1987, 1986, right in there, creates a drow character that in many ways was a female version of the personality of Dritz. And so we have always teased him that if he had only written the story down, he could have been Salvatore. So shout out to my friend Chuck. It was a great storyline, a great arc, because Drow were the big villain at that time, quote unquote. Like half of the party, 3/4 of the party had some type of backstory which involved those traitorous Drow. And then we have a character who, unbeknownst to the rest of us, comes in, was a cavalier, and so was always helmeted up, always had the greaves and the gauntlets on, and it was a great story arc as we learned who they were, and in that moment, Chuck taught us over that those months of gaming that the idea that don't be so in a box, don't be thinking that just because it's X race ancestry doesn't mean that those characters have to be evil or have to be chaotic or even have to be good. If you want to think about elves in this case. So anyway, what goes into your perfect peanut butter sandwich? Ginger Halfling is asking. And Germs,
Germs is here.
Yeah, Germs is here. Good, great to see you, man. The thing is, we can't repeat it, but the answer is 42. So we know that part.
You said too much already, Brooke.
I'm sorry.
Brooke,
strawberry jelly. Jen Joey says it's got to be strawberry jelly. I don't know. Speaking of elvish impersonators, like, would it be bananas? Peanut butter and bananas. That's the classic human one.
Oh, what burger place is it that has the Elvis? Is it S&B?
S&B Garage Burgers, maybe.
Yeah,
so
maybe
it is a bacon cheeseburger with peanut butter.
It's so good.
I love all of those things, and it took me a long time to try it.
Okay, Ginger
It's absolutely fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic.
Ginger has triggered me. Okay, so I will make Grand's buttermilk biscuits, the ones that are like layered, and then while they're cooking, I will get a coffee cup and put peanut butter in it, stick it in the microwave for like just a few seconds, and then just mess it up with syrup. And sit there and stir it and stir it and stir it and mix it. And then smear it all over those buttermilk biscuits.
That is a poor boy treat right there. Peanut butter.
Good, you slap your grandma.
Yep. Peanut butter, maple syrup, and anything is awesome.
Speaking of characters of mixed honor.
Oh, no.
I think someone just walked up to me and took off their gauntlet and threw it on the ground.
There you go. A card with the card still in it.
With a magic card still in it.
Germ says, when is our magic duel going down, Zonimus?
It's gonna have to happen. I don't know. Well, we're gonna have to do it. We're gonna do it. It's gonna work.
That's
we're
right.
We'll set the rules for it. I think it'd be interesting if we set some rules for. So it's gonna be on Arena, so it can have. We need to make it D&D themed. So it can have the Forgotten Realms set, and it can have the Strixhaven set. Because D&D come out with Strixhaven. So, those two sets. I don't think it's the Rose. Well, it was the first. We'll figure it out. We'll talk and figure this out. And we'll come on here, and it'll be deathmatch. We'll bring you on the show.
Woohoo! That will be awesome.
That way we can look at each other's cards. We'll just alt-tab over to Twitch and go, what's he holding? And then...
Are you going to need a referee? One like myself who doesn't know the rules at all.
I think the wrong time to cut back on drinking if I'm going to go toe-to-toe a magic challenge.
Oh, my gosh. Woo! All my money's on Germs.
Mine, too. I play very, I don't
think that's how betting works. I think that's called throwing the match when you...
So Brooke's not going to spectate. Brooke does not know how to play Magic, so he's going to officiate. Like halfway through my turn, he's going to be, it's your turn now, Germs. So we have to do. We have to go off like weird, crazy chaos rules. I want to talk about Kiri?
Oh, that's a great question. Is there a spectator mode in Arena? Surely there is,
There
right?
isn't, unfortunately. No, there's
Okay.
not. Yeah.
We'll make it that way. We'll cheat. We'll use the chat and
Right.
Twitch it. It'll be awesome.
Peanut butter whiskey. Okay, there's only one bad thing about peanut butter whiskey before we move over here to ginger halfling. The only bad thing about peanut butter whiskey is the one that comes in the bottle that's decorated up to look like a bag of circus popcorn or a bag of circus peanuts. That one is terrible. Every other peanut butter whiskey I've had is delicious.
That's because circus peanuts themselves are terrible. So just being it kind of like permeates. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
I've never had it, but
it's not good stuff. Brooke, are you ready to talk about the Halloween special?
The Halloween special.
Wait. Are you ready to talk about what we're doing for Extra Life?
I don't know. I know all the details of that one.
You fool! You fell for the classic blunder. The Halloween special is this year's Extra Life special. Yay! Take it away, Brooke. Tell us all about it.
Woohoo! We have an incredible return of Kiri as our DM for the holiday special. It's a thing that started. This is our 1 year anniversary of holiday specials?
We started with winter.
Yeah. Did we start? Oh, so did it start with? It started though. No, it didn't start with Extra Life, or did it?
Extra Life was in October last year. It was Halloween Day.
Yeah. So
it's 1 year since Extra Life, and almost up to the winter. You can't say Christmas in 2021. To the winter themed holiday. Took me a few years to catch on to that one.
It's all right.
But I'm excited for it. I can't wait to see what gets thrown at us.
Yeah, it's going to be super exciting. Really, really great. We have Kiri coming back as DM. We have those holiday special characters, Elisard and Isa and Sathari, all coming back. And it is going to be really, really cool. We're going to have a special guest player that hasn't played in the holiday specials yet. And you'll have to figure out who that is.
Is it a secret?
I don't know if it's a secret or not.
I'm a little sad. Come watch the holiday special, kids.
It's gonna be awesome. So our holiday specials so far, we've had a Christmas theme one, right? Which was very Christmas Carol-esque. It was tons of fun. Then what did we come back with next? Was it May Day? With Valentine's.
Love is in the air.
Prep work can sometimes be important, ladies and gentlemen, to decide if you remember what it is you're supposed to be talking about. Valentine's, that was awesome, right? And now we're going to be coming around with Halloween. So.
I've been waiting for the Halloween holiday special since we've first done Halloween specials. No pressure, Kiri. Kiri's in the audience. All Hallows Vale.
All Hallows Vale.
What a great name.
It's a community effort.
Germs, yay! Germs is a subscriber. The gang are headed into a spooky Victorian manor. Yes.
It's going to be really awesome, really great. It's going to be on October the 9th. Normally we start around noon, and it is the live playing of the adventure. Usually runs about 4 hours. One time we pushed it. I think the first time, whenever we were all still bantering and learning and getting our time frame for the internet, I think one time we pushed it closer to 5 or 5.5. But we've trimmed it down. It's usually about 4 hours now, and much more kind of tournament feel or play. And it's just going to be awesome.
So Curtis said, so Scrooge as the Lich King of the world. I don't know if there's going to be a lich anywhere in the game. I hope not.
I don't, we already had to face a lich in the Christmas special. I don't want to face liches ever.
Liches are dumb.
No liches, no vampires.
So we don't know yet what Kiri is going to do for changing the subject. For what? So the way Extra Life works, for those of you who missed it last year or have never seen one, the way Extra Life works with these live streams is I would go roll to hit something, and it's like, oh crap, I got a 3 and missed. Someone in the chat could click a button on our special Extra Life website we'll have up that says, nope, Safari, that's my character for the holiday specials, gets a reroll.
Woo!
And they donate $5 to charity.
Yeah.
And we get notified, and I get to make a reroll. Or it's coming up on something super important, and someone's got to roll something, and it's like, oh, click, roll with advantage. There's also going to be some various other things. Last year, what do we have?
Last year we had, in fact, Hal is in the chat.
Hal made me cry last year.
Oh my gosh, it was so awesome. Hal went big guns for the big prize and dropped in an appearance of Sneaky Coyote, I believe. He also made me sing a couple of times, which was horribly hilarious.
So I'm sitting here doing this in the office with the door shut, my headphones on, and all of a sudden I can hear my wife on the other side of the house like busting out laughing, and I'm like, and I thought she'd left for she had a thing to do, like a brunch thing or something, Halloween brunch or something, and I'm like, what a coincidence, she starts laughing right when they start singing. Like both times. And nope, she's sitting on the couch just waiting for time to go by to do the thing she was going to do, and is watching this, and I'm like, that's good stuff. Like it was that funny. I had to think about going to the bathroom. Oh yeah, in Makran's body. That was great. We did a body switch, a body swap for the last Extra Life. Let's never do that again. I'd almost rather face the lich. Almost.
It's one of those things where kind of like actual play podcast. It's one of those things where as people are talking about it, you're kind of like, why would I want, like, why would that be fun, to watch other people play? And then again, it's kind of like sports, if you don't know, or video games and streaming. If you don't know, you explain that to someone, and sometimes they're like, why would I want to watch someone play another video game? Why would I want to go to a stadium when I could just sit at home and watch it on TV? Why would I want to do that? And Extra Life and being engaged in the game, donating money to help Children's Miracle Network and the other things that you raise money for. It's awesome to know that you're having fun, changing the course of the game, making the players sweat and do crazy things, making the DM sweat and figure, how in the world am I going to do that? And it is fun. You should give it a try, ladies and gentlemen. It's awesome. So
it'll be exciting. I'm looking forward to it. I like that I'm in the dark on it, and it's great, and it's cool stuff. And Kiri's great. I love it. Come check it out. If you haven't watched any of the holiday specials, it's fun because we're all different characters. So
yeah.
So the character name that I use is Safari, which is an off play. I didn't want to use the name I was going to go for, which is Zafari, which is another offshoot of Zonimus, because I'm like, well, I'm playing an Aasimar cleric. I don't want to be a hard name, so I made it a soft name by going Ari. Sath is much softer than Zat. See? I don't know. Whatever.
Genius. Sorry.
Let's take a moment for awkward silence.
Awkward silence.
Okay.
There we go.
As a person who has only DM'd like 6 times, hey, that's more than some people. I don't know, but it's probably more than some people. I guarantee you that's more than some people.
GURPS may be the best system. I mean, it's huge. There's so many rules, but GURPS is just, yes, GURPS is awesome. It's really, really great.
You ready for the hot take of the episode?
Hot take.
GURPS is okay.
I love playing GURPS, but I don't want to make a character, and I certainly don't want to DM it. But if you just like bring it to me all set, I'm like, this is great. If you think the character creation in D&D or Pathfinder is long, oh my gosh, Gert.
Oh, have you ever played Traveler?
I have only played pre-gens of Traveler. Also, but I've heard I think it's the Glass Cannon guys did like their character build of Traveler one time, or maybe it was Paranoia. Anyway, fun.
You can die in character creation for Traveler. You can't in the most recent edition. They took that out. But there are so many like trade-offs when you're building your character that you end up dead. It's like you trade it off. It's like I want this skill. Well, it costs an arm and a leg, kind of thing. And you age throughout, because in Traveler, to become a traveler of space, you've got to like go through high school and then go through college and then study in your field and so you're like an aged adult before you get to do what it is that you do in Traveler. So you don't come across characters that are like, I'm 16 and snarky, you know.
No, that's awesome.
Traveler, the game where you die when rolling a character. Yep, absolutely.
We should take 2 weeks off every time. Spending like 14 people in the chat. That's fantastic. Good to see you guys. That's awesome.
Now I'm nervous.
Oh, pay no attention to the crowd. Pretend they're all the one.
I'll pretend they're all
drow chick
wearing. Yes, the drow chick. I was going to say naked, but your innuendo works better. Brooke?
Yo.
I talk way too much. That's because I'm drinking a Rockstar. Why don't you start the conversation, and then I'll hijack it, about alignment.
Oh. So, going to start the conversation. Okay, I'm just going to go right to it, right?
Well, actually.
Not popular with the cool kids. I love alignment. I think it's fantastic. I think you need it. I think that alignment can also grow and change. It doesn't have to be static. You don't have to be locked into alignment. But I think just like the other stats in D&D and other role-playing games, I think it could be a fantastic tool. Love it.
Well, in 2nd edition 3 and 3.5, there were mechanics for changing your alignment.
Yes.
And if you picked a certain alignment and started playing against it, the DM had full rights to just say, you're this now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're no longer neutral good because you've been like ransacking stuff, so you're now chaotic.
Yeah.
And so anything that affects chaotic alignments is not going to start affecting you, because that's what some people will do. Is it's like, well, I'm going to pick super nice, sweet, innocent, pure, but then I'm going to act evil. And so nothing will like affect me, because you can't really keep the system that way. Yeah. Carson's back. Welcome back.
Woohoo! Good stuff.
Germs. Just like the nature and demeanor and system for White Wolf. Yeah, I liked it. Nature and demeanor was a great system for alignment, for sure. And especially even it's like, well. So I've heard the argument of why do like creatures have alignment?
Oh yeah, yep.
Because there's spells that affect alignment, and just because you're not fighting against the evil wizard who's trying to rule the kingdom from his tower, and you're actually going to fight a rust monster, if you have a spell that has more of an impact against a certain alignment, you want to know the alignment of the rust monster. You know, don't you?
I do. I'm laughing at how much XP for the peasants.
How much XP for all the peasants.
Oh, good stuff. And I think you can look at, say, cultures perhaps, and base a little bit of alignment, but know that there's always flexibility there. Like, one of the sci-fi tropes about humans is that the human race does not do well with slavery, right? That's kind of a sci-fi trope that given a long enough timeline, we will always rebel in it. And so does that make us collectively chaotic or neutral? Possibly. We have a lot of cultures that are really rigid, and so that lawfulness comes into play. But humans now on the outside with metagaming, right, and just real life, humans are creatures of categories. We love to categorize stuff. That's one of the ways that, either God made us, or looking, back across biology and evolution, being able to categorize things for some reason is really important to our brain. And so having these categories of behavior, law, chaos, goodness, evil, it helps us. It helps us understand the game, helps us understand motivations, helps us understand tropes.
For sure. And it makes it also lends to like role playing and such. And like so let's say alignment didn't exist, and the ground rumbles and a hole opens up and fire shoots out, and then this giant red-skinned, forked-tail, horned, leathery wing humanoid creature stands before you and tells you how he's going to crush you and all those you love. Is it ever going to?
I would remind my ex-wife of the of the court order. That's what I would do.
Is it ever going to cross your mind that this guy might just be nice? He doesn't need the label evil to know that he's evil, but mechanics-wise, my paladin is going to smite him for like X damage. Oh wait, he's evil? Now it's X plus Y damage. Because I'm a paladin, I should be stronger against evil things. And he's going to hurt me more because he's evil and I'm good. And it's just a mechanic in there, It's not. You can almost argue it the same way, not the same way, but similar to, well, when I woke up this morning, I put on a frock instead of a breastplate and chainmail.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to have an impact on what happens to you as you go out through your day, So the way you act is going to have determine how things are going to affect you. Let's stick a label on it. It's called alignment, and yours is this. What alignment would plausible deniability be?
Oh, we have to be in the chaos side, right?
Is there such a thing as lawful chaotic? There is now. Somebody write that down. Curtis, write that down. Lawful chaotic. That's what plausible deniability is.
Makes perfect sense.
Oh, Kiri's crying about the kobolds.
The kobolds? What about them? What happened? What did you do to the kobolds while I wasn't paying attention?
Do I say again or still? Kiri has such a big heart for the kobolds. There's an episode of Red Dirt where some kobolds picked on us, picked a fight with us, and it didn't end well for somebody. Yeah, I know who's kobolds. I can hear her yelling. Nightmare's kobolds. I can hear you yelling at me, Kiri.
You can the sonic vibrations of the universe,
I hear you, Poppy Tea Leaf.
Jen Joey says categories are important because it tells us if that person is going to kill me or not. Possibly so, yes.
True. Yeah, I think there's a misunderstanding of. I feel like that. God, this might sound kind of mean. Maybe, I don't know. I feel like the people who are really against alignment don't 100%. I don't want to say don't understand it because they're intelligent enough to understand it and comprehend it, but I think there's a miscommunication to it or miscommunication about it, and so they're like, oh, it's not a healthy, good thing. Let's get rid of it. I play a character that's awful chaotic. Awful chaotic. I like that.
I do. Where is that in the? Remember the old AD&D used to have a spectrum of diabolic. Was it diabolic and devilish? There was like, what was that?
I mean, there was like a spectrum, and there was a PCs fit in the middle, and then there was like further out parts that like this was like deities and demiplane stuff, and it wasn't for us mere mortals.
Yeah, true.
Alignment can be a pigeonhole groups of characters. It can pigeonhole. It can be back to the problem of the drow. Oh, you have blue skin and red eyes and white hair. You must be bad. But I think that with alignment, it's, oh, you're evil. You must be evil. And I think that's harmless.
Yeah.
And it's also just really easy to say. So how's this person acting?
Yes.
They're acting like blah 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 blah. They're acting evil.
Excellent.
And
I love people to have institutional memory. As I interrupt, Curtis, saintly, cherubic, diabolic, demonic. That were those. So you could be good and be saintly or cherubic, and you could be evil and be diabolic or demonic. Yeah, that's awesome.
Bravo. You just showed your age, Curtis. Way to go.
Carson, did I tell you he was smart? I told you he was smart. Right?
Well, he was gone. You said something different, though, but go ahead.
He lies all the time. He says alignments could be a supplement to deeper motivations. Ding, ding, ding.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. That's a great idea. So
I love that there can be so much agreement and disagreement about it, and then we just move on and things are fun. It's more the enforcement of a stereotype as long as so I've had people. It's like, oh well, this guy's he's evil, and it's like, oh, so when I walk by, he's gonna throw rocks at me and put a stick in my spokes of my bicycle and stuff. And it's like, well, no, he's not like savage, primal, unthinking destruction. He's just going to
charge you extra for shipping.
He's going to vote to raise taxes or something, or I mean, charge you for shipping, or screw with your income tax. That's evil. It's not vile. Yes.
And yet, if they ever want to sponsor us, we'll take their money.
I will take anybody's money. Anybody's. What do we got?
Oh my gosh!
The great switching everyone's mail. Yes. So that's chaotic evil.
That's true.
Yeah.
True.
Lawful evil would be a politician. Or
yes,
a Bond, not a Bond villain.
Bending, you got rules and standards, but you bend those rules, So, and chaotic evil is totally nihilistic. They just, like the Joker, perhaps, is chaotic evil.
I was about to go Batman
Joker.
The
world burger.
Yes, I was about to go Batman Joker because Batman won't kill, but oh god, he's chaotic. But then, which version of Batman? I'm not going to kill you, but I'm not going to save you either.
There you go. Yeah. Versus, of course, the big blue Boy Scout who tries to be lawful good no matter what, or maybe in the later, maybe he's neutral good, in the later editions. But Captain America, lawful good,
Captain America's ass.
That's cherubic. It's just pure goodness. It's just
there can be none higher. I think it's the first time someone has said ass on Red Dirt.
Nicely done. And Michael's not here to bleep it. Way to go. Good job.
Not getting scolded.
Oh my gosh. Curtis in the chat says spoon. Surely you get that. You know that, don't you, Johnny? Oh yeah, I knew you did. I knew we were friends for a reason.
No filter, Carson. Hats off.
100%. You know him. You've just met him, and yet you know him. That's fantastic. You're exactly right.
No one knows.
No filter, this guy.
Ginger Halfling says no. I don't know why she's saying no. She's just saying no. Johnny said ass somewhere before. I don't know which episode. I remember there was an episode where I said son of a bitch, and then I listened to it later, and I was like, oh. That was I didn't realize I said it in recording. I was just going with the flow, and then I go back and I listen to it when we get access to it. I was listening to it and I was like, oh, language, Johnny. But it's
language. It was an emotional moment.
It was an emotional moment. I think you've said ass a lot to me, probably, Kiri.
Yes. I thought you were talking to me for a minute. I'm like, I would never.
Speaking of Johnny triggering Kiri's neurosis, if you guys haven't listened to the outtakes at the end of the episode,
my gosh,
you have got to listen to them. If you are a patron, and you have seen the adult outtakes, doesn't it say adult outtakes?
There is one on the Patreon.
Adult outtakes for the Patreon.
It's worth the $5 all by itself. It's the best $5
you are hilarious. I love that you're just sitting there going, Johnny, no.
You can't do this. There are children that listen to this show. I mean,
I don't know of any, but there are.
Kiri is a 20-something. I know, just go with it. Kiri is a 20-something that is like in a 70-year-old proper Victorian English woman's brain. Like she's amazing, and she is so like in certain circumstances so proper.
You know, she's saying deep blush and eye roll. It's the blushes that happen.
And that's it right there together. That's Kiri together. Both of those happening at the same time, and it's not wrong.
It's like, oh gosh. You're the greatest. Couldn't do this without you. And you're surrounded by children. You are surrounded by children. Sweep the leg, Johnny. You can't have any candy. Why did I say van? I was going to go somewhere about a candy in a van, but they came out with you can't have van, have candy. This is...
Carson's on your side. Carson's on your side. He says you just get too deep in the role play and forget.
Seriously, it is. There's been some times where I've caught myself like I'm about to like say something that's not, I mean, I think we could probably relax a little bit more than we are right now. We're trying to keep it clean because I mean it's like I've listened to podcasts before. I remember the first time I listened to Critical Role in the car with my kid, and it was like when I first started listening to them, and I'm like, the hell they say. And they were just like, whoa, my goodness.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
I love Glass Cannon, but there's a whole subset of students that I listen to that I'm around that I can't suggest it to them because it's just like, the number of F-bombs is just horrific.
No, on Androids and Aliens sometimes when they're...
gosh.
No, so Ellie, I don't know if you guys listen to this. So I know someone in here is a Glass Cannon fan. They do a Starfinder show called Androids and Aliens, and they have one of the cast members is from Sweden, and she's great. She's very fluent in English, but sometimes she'll hear a word and she doesn't know if it's a word in the game mechanic word, in the game universe word, if it's slang, if it's English or what it is, and so they'll just mess with her, and it'll be like some sweet innocent word, and they'll tell her it's like the most vile, disgusting, vulgar thing, or the opposite. They'll say a really bad word, and they'll tell her that it's like it's the new word for apples or something, and it's just they give her such a hard time. The pre-show banter, the pre-show banter is great. Syrup for everyone but you, yes, Curtis. they posted on Twitter. Troy LaValle was like, "What kind of T-shirt do we need to make?" And I was like, "We need to make a T-shirt of Mama Fats holding a syrup bottle.
Yep.
That has the jingle on it."
Yep. That is a great episode alone. I don't remember. It's early on. Is it probably like episode 7 or 8?
First 10 easily.
Yeah. GCP, Androids and Aliens, episode 7 or 8. It's hilarious because we have Ellie who they have Ellie who, there's a little bit of a language barrier there, and then she's doing improv with a live gaming show, and they throw her on the
comedian.
Oh yeah, and they throw her on
a stand-up comedian. Yeah,
and they throw her on the spot, and what comes out of her mouth is it's totally clean, but it's just so perfectly dumb that I laughed for days. I still laugh about it.
Yeah.
100 episodes later. Anyway.
I like the sky comma. I forgot what an apostrophe was called, so I called it a sky comma. It is now forever a sky comma.
Woo! I'm calling it right now. Bonus points for Carson, who just made a Kenning reference for sky comma. Nicely done.
I want to say this to you. If I can fit the word sky comma into the Halloween Extra Life thing, someone's got to donate $10. I want to be a cleric of the great and wonderful sky comma.
I think those are just called rainbows.
It's okay. Hold on. What if the sky comma cleric is faced off against the Oxford comma warlock? Who would you root for?
Oxford comma every time.
I love tacos and burritos, comma and nachos. I love it.
Yeah.
The Oxford comma.
You got to have the Oxford comma. Otherwise, you get weird food groups.
Right? Yeah.
And you lose lots of money in lawsuits.
No, maybe. Sky comma.
The comma is that high.
Oh.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
What
Oh, rainbows are sky parentheses, says Noda Jones. I like
going
that.
Going on up to the parenthesis in the sky. In the sky. That's where I'm going to go when I interject some dialogue here.
Going on up to parentheses.
All right, chat. Give us a topic.
Parentheses.
Bert, do you need to go? Do you turn into a pumpkin at midnight?
No, it's
Don't
awesome.
forget, we have homework after this. We have an assignment.
Yeah, but
it'll be effortless.
It'll be effortless.
We
can totally come up a way to break the holiday special. It's easy.
We can totes.
We can totes. Sky comma. It does sound like it's an Oriental Adventures magic item. It does. You throw it, and it's. Wait, mate. Is that? I think I just invented the boomerang.
You said that like you were using a comma. Sky comma. It's like a blah blah blah. However,
Oxford comma. But what about the Shatner comma?
You mean the comma that comes after everything I say?
Yes.
My friends, my little friends. I'm not playing on my phone. I'm looking for something Brooke sent me earlier.
Sure, right. Wait a minute. You said that wasn't going to come out in person on the internet. I can't clean that up. It sounds terrible all the way. Anyway, never mind.
We talked about alignments. We talked about Paizos. We talked about the Matrix 4. We haven't talked about Kiri because she's here.
True.
Reapercon was fun. Did anybody go to Reapercon?
Oh my gosh. You went to Reapercon.
I did.
Woo!
I did. How was
it to be around people again?
There were humans. It was pretty rad. I had my badge up there. I was going to show it off. It says VIP.
Sweet.
That lets people know I spent $75 for my ticket. It was pretty cool. The first time I've been to Reapercon, for those of you who don't know, or maybe not in Oklahoma. I don't know how worldwide they are, but the Reaper is a company that makes miniatures for D&D. They just make miniatures. Don't make really game. They kind of have a game setting, but they have an old battle game. But you can go to your local game store and buy Reaper miniatures, and they're like $5. And they say that they are what's the word I'm looking for? Primed.
Painted?
They're pre-primered.
Primed.
Yes. You should still wash them and prime them yourselves, anyways. But they're based in Denton, Texas, and they have a convention every year for like the past 20 years, I guess. And I've never gone.
Yeah.
Usually around this time of year, I'm going to Gen Con, and it's just been scary lately to do that. But I've been cooped up so much, and I wanted to go, so I said, to heck with it. I'm vaccinated. I'm going to go to Reapercon. And I went, and it was cool. It was way gooder than I expected it to be. I love saying gooder in front of these two English teachers. And and so, yeah, I went to that, and I was talking to people. It beat my expectations, because I'm like, a convention in Denton, Texas. Not knocking Denton, Texas, but, So I get there, and there's lots of people, lots of games, lots of painting, lots of vendors, lots of cool stuff going on. And I asked people who've been going there for a while, met some really great people, hung out and had some great conversations. And I said, what's this? Is this the normal? And they go, oh no, this is dead. And I thought it was pretty hopping. There was it got to the point where I scheduled some games before I went, and then the DMs backed out because of Delta fears and such. And so I was like, well, I lost almost every one of my games I had scheduled. But then I got there and I got to know people, and it was like you just walk by a table and someone just grabs you and says, oh, hey, come play this, And so constantly having games. But yeah, they were like, yeah, there's usually twice as many people, twice as many tables, twice as many games going on.
Oh, it's cool.
But it's just 2 hours down I-35, and there you are. It's Thursday through Sunday events, 4 days. I'm going to go next time. I'm going to bring everybody with me.
That sounds awesome. Sounds
Everyone is still
absolutely
building
awesome.
this fantasy role-playing world of Sky Commons.
I know that she, again, Ginger Halfling. Sky Comma grants an ability where once a day you can change a single letter in a spell to change the spell. So Fireball's changed to Tireball that just throws tires at people. I like it. Firebolt becomes Firebelt. That sounds painful.
Ginger Halfling is chaotic.
Yeah.
That is your alignment. True.
Carson has given us a fantastic... I don't think we can do it justice in the time we have left. Carson wants us to revisit Dune. I think it's time. I think it's time we revisit Dune. And we can also talk about Apple TV next time and Foundations.
Oh, my goodness. C has come back since last time we've talked.
Oh, very nice.
I don't want to talk about Dune until it comes out. It's coming out way too soon.
Are you going to Joe O'Brien this and be like a trailer and just like not watch trailers and stuff, or what?
I mean, I've read the book 3 or 4 times. It's
awesome.
Spoilers.
It's awesome.
No, I really do want to have a conversation about it afterwards because it's something really interesting. The actress who plays Lady Jessica had some interesting things to say during an interview, and I want to wait until I see the movie, and then I want to discuss because she was talking about the book and her experience reading it, and then she went to Denis Villeneuve, Jason Momoa, and I can never remember his name, Oscar Isaac, and had an interesting discussion with them about the book and the character of Lady Jessica and everything. And I want to see the movie. I want to see the portrayal.
Yeah.
And I want to see because they're not doing the whole entire book in the first movie.
No, of course not.
They're not, because there's way you would leave way too much on the cutting room floor.
The internet says it ends kind of Lord of the Rings-esque in a big cliffhanger.
I heard it ends right when For all spoilers, there's a worm in Dune and it's big.
What?
There's more than one.
That's a giant bottle of tequila. What are you talking about?
You know where the worms come from, right?
I
don't know what came
Butterflies.
first, the worm or the worm, but the worms...
Space Mothra.
The worms eat the spice, and then they expel the spice from their bums.
Yeah.
And that becomes a worm.
Really?
That eats the spice and expels waste that becomes a... So what came first?
So they're cannibalistic?
What came first? The worm or the poo?
I'm distracted by the chat because we have such an intelligent group in the chat tonight. It's awesome. They're off talking about Asimov and Foundation and the Spice and Dune. I just love it so much.
I'm not looking away. I'm reading the chat.
Wait. Keith or Sutherland, when did you join the group?
Stop. You're making me blush. Stop.
You see it, ladies and gentlemen? Do you see it? Do you see it? Some of us are blessed with 1 degree of separation.
So, I have not read Foundation. And I'm probably just going to end up watching the show without having read it.
I think you have to at least do book 1.
I think you do. I don't know if can I knock out book 1 before it comes out?
How long do we have? A week? 10 days?
I could audio
29.
I could audio book that bad boy.
That's Dune. Yeah. Oh, you could. That would be really good.
My job plays heavily in audiobooks. It works really well.
Yeah. Depending on who's reading it, the audiobook could be great. Mm-hmm. That would be a great way to take in Foundation.
Yep. For sure. Yeah, like the Dune. The last time I read Dune was audio, and it was like so many people on the cast and sound effects and music, and it was great.
Very, very cool. Not wrong. Carson in the chat, not wrong. Show.
I stopped reading it because I got distracted, but it runs along the same lines as like Foundation and Dune. I can't remember the name of it. Someone suggested it to me.
It is.
I listened to it for a few hours one day. What was it called?
We've talked about that because I didn't write it down. Was Michael talking about it? I think Michael Cross was talking about it.
Michael read, he just finished Foundation, I think he said.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. Awkward silence again.
Awkward moment. I'm not paying attention to you. I'm paying attention to the chat. Because they're intelligent. You guys heard him say that, right? See, he's ignoring me. Fun fact, Foundation started as a series of short stories, but once its popularity took off, Asimov started writing it, trying to create a consistent story arc. I think you're missing a comma in there, a ground comma.
I love Foundation is sort of like from the Mule is I can read, I can do stuff too. It's really good. I've been practicing. Oh my gosh. But Dune is sort of like Foundation from the Mule's point of view, says Carson. That I'm gonna chase that. I like that idea.
Hyperion.
What?
Hyperion.
Oh, Hyperion. Yes. Yes, I've heard fantastic things about Hyperion.
I listened to it like 6 hours straight one day and was like, oh, this is so cool. An Oxford comma or an Oxford comma?
One means you're dressed. The other one means you're just writing well.
What else we got here? Hugo Award. Yes. So many Hugo Awards.
Oh. Good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. We talked about alignments. We talked about the Matrix. We talked about the holiday special.
Let's talk about the show. So, what episode are we on? Is everybody up to date?
I'm not sure that everyone is up to date, but we are at episode 62.
It's hard for me to track it because I listen to them like I'm already on episode 70.
You know what we can talk about? We can talk about outtakes. When did our outtakes started? Like in the 30s, 35 or so.
Can we play some outtakes?
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. I want to hear Carrie going, Johnny, stop. Johnny, shut up.
In the last round table, there's an outtake at the end of the round table that is fantastic, and it's all Carrie.
Where did Carrie go? There she is. She's screaming, keep her.
The outtakes are fantastic, and we've had them from the beginning, right? The Red Dirt D&D, it's not scripted, and especially as it started off, people were like, "You're running off a script." No, it's not scripted at all. It's like it totally is just like when you're playing around your own table. It is, a situation and improv. Go there, it is. Boom, boom.
Right where we want them. What a good episode title. Go ahead.
And it's just great, because of the vibe that's there, and then the Patreon has helped create sound editing and sound effects and everything that Michael can do because of the folks that have joined us on Patreon, just $5 a month, beginning level. It's awesome, and that gives you one of the things that gives you is the complete behind the scenes roundtable that starts, I don't know, somewhere probably in the episode 20 or so, something like that. We have the roundtable that starts, and those are just great. So you put those two things together, the outtakes at the end of the episodes, where you get to see the moments in which we lose it and we banter off on something, and they're just great. And he puts them in at the end of the show in the order that they kind of happened. And love Michael Cross. He's just so fantastic. Outtakes are hilarious. What's been your favorite outtake, do you think? Can you remember one that you just...
Seriously, I hate it, but it's that one. It's the adult one. It's the one that you got to be a patron to hear it. We might play it here. We might have to ID everyone in chat one night and play that one. So I kind of want to just in a very friendly way just say what the theme of that outtake is, but the chat will explode and Carrie will flip out.
Yeah. It's about cider.
It's about cider.
And evidently you are the only one at the table who had ever heard of this particular brand, and you just go off for 3 minutes.
So way out in the country, off of Route 68, 69, there's a farm owned by the Dickens family.
And I think that's all you can say, because the other thing is it's, Patreon, right? You gotta plug in, and
they'll have heard of it. Watch the chat, because they used to play commercials. They used to play fake commercials of it for it on the local radio stations here on the Cat in the morning.
I think
it was like 98, 90. So when we got home that day from recording, I Googled it. I'm like, I need to just Google this and send some links. And no, Brooke, there's like merchandise.
What?
You can get like empty bottles of it to fill up with cider. There's T-shirts. There's yeah. No, not that. No, you nerd. It's okay. I can say that because I program Raspberry Pis all day. I can call you a nerd because yeah.
It's a badge of honor now.
We're doing the same thing. Yeah. All right, so enough about the cider that comes from that farm out there, owned by the Dickens family.
And
other than that, my favorite outtake would be, gosh, I don't know. There's one where it's recent, and we lost. Oh no, it was the same. I was about to say we lost Ash, but that was the same one. Never mind. It's that outtake. We're gonna have to play it.
The one about miniature paint, is that in an outtake as well? That particular color? Or is that like when we were pre-recording before we sat down?
It's not. So Reaper, who put on Reapercon, they also sell paints for miniatures. And one of the colors is, I don't know how to say this in a friendly way, one of the colors' names is Drow Nipple Pink.
And it's exactly what the name says.
Because you would need to paint that for a shirtless warrior.
Yes,
that was
indeed.
Pre-recording DNP. Oh yeah, it was pre-recording, so it's not an outtake. Yeah.
So it's not an outtake.
Right,
so here,
right.
Plausible Deniability, now you know something that even people at the show don't know.
Drow Nipple Pink is a paint color produced by Reaper. And you know
that. Did you find any at Reapercon?
I didn't know it existed, so I didn't look for paint.
Until after.
I have a ton of paints already, or I buy them locally. I was there for the exclusives or the just came out minis that you can get your hands on. But you are hilarious all the time. So Drow have pink nipples. It has been. I hope you're taking notes. There's going to be a test at the end of the year. What have you learned from Plausible Deniability?
That's the only thing they're going to remember. Foundation, Dune, existentialism in the Matrix. All of that is out the window now. The only thing they're going to remember is Reapercon paint colors.
Drow Nipple Pink. I bet you between now and next episode, someone opens their mouth and says it out loud to someone else. Did you know there's a paint color called? I mean, I did. Az told us about it, and then like the next day, I'm at work talking to a fellow D&D Zian, and I'm like, "Did you know there's a color called Drow Nipple Pink?" Like what?
And did they know? Did they know?
And so we looked it up and we found it, and it exists, and you can buy it. They didn't know either. No.
Craziness.
I thought that was the writer's Curtis.
Terrible. He better be over 21.
It's almost 9:00.
Oh my gosh.
No, I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm just saying some of them should be in bed if they're going to hear anything bad, right?
That's right.
I say that as my 14-year-old stays up to like 1 a.m. on the school night. Nighty night. Oh, you're gonna go spend time with South Dakota. There's a joke in there. You can really watch that, Curious. You know me. I'm gonna make that joke.
The chat is exploding about it right now. They're all like
Dakota. At some point in time this evening. Good night, guys. Love you, Kiri. Glad you could come out and make it. I hope you're gone already and don't hear the South Dakota jokes.
Oh my goodness.
She
brought it upon herself.
North Dakota too. Okay. You thought my cider joke was. Carrie, stop. Carrie, stop.
She's the worst. Anyway,
bad.
we.
She's got the foulest mouth of all of us in the podcast. Did you guys know that?
They always, but she's smart. She's got a really high wisdom because it's never when the mic is running. Like, never. Like,
And none of this is true. Except for the smart part. But I did it on accident. I know you did it on accident. That's what makes it so adorable. And you're adorable. You are adorable to laugh. Like, it's so weird. We got some great fan art out there in our Discord, our patron only Discord, and it's so weird because I always forget. So Ginger halfling, and then Poppy is a halfling, and then Kiri is sometimes a redhead, and then I see a fan art of Poppy, and I'm like, who's that blonde kid? It just really always throws me off because in my brain, it's Poppy looks like Kiri, but maybe 2 inches shorter.
That was funny. That's good. That's good. Have either of you read the Dust series of novels? I have not.
Dust series? I've not. No.
No.
Tim is awesome. Tim's an awesome artist. If you're on Patreon, go check out the artist channel.
Oh my gosh,
some really good art in there. Yep.
If you're not on the Discord, and again Patreon, if you're not on the Discord and you need to go to the artist channel in Discord and check out all the artwork that's in there. Kiri was our very first artwork by Emily, and then Carde has done artwork, and I think someone else has done artwork as well that I'm forgetting.
There's been a few, yeah.
Artist Corner is great, and of course Ash, they do some doodles as well. So,
So Dust, no, I need to make a note of that.
Cool.
Dust, is it fantasy?
Yeah, what is it? Is it Dune-esque? Is it fantasy? Is it sci-fi?
Man, this new iPhone update, have you done it, Brooke?
Let me look and see.
They just jack with you with Safari. So when you open Safari, it used to be the address bar was at the top, and then the button to get a new tab was on the right. Now the address bar is on the bottom, and the button to get a new tab is on the left. And I'm just like, why? Why? Someone in Cupertino was like, let's mess with them all. Chaos reigns. Dust novels.
Yeah. Really good, futuristic, post-apocalyptic series that has a lot of deep commentary on the human condition.
Word. I've got it bookmarked.
Cool.
It will happen.
That is awesome.
Expanse is amazing. Expanse is really, really good. There's an Expanse RPG.
Is there really?
There's a Dune RPG that just came out by Modiphius Games. It uses their 2D20 system, which I have played a lot with Star Trek RPG and the Conan RPG. It's really great.
Oh, yeah. Now, I'm going to show my age. Are those upgrades from the ones from the 80s?
Yes.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Most cool.
Indeed they are. What am I looking for here? Red Dirt. There it is.
Red Dirt D&D.
I've heard of them.
Yeah. The Dune RPG. What is the 220 system with RPG?
So when you try to do something, you need 1 or 2, maybe 3 successes.
Yeah.
And you so you roll 2 20-sided die against the skill. And
gotcha.
I'm listening to a thing. I'm trying to find the spot. So anyway, you roll, and so what happens is if you just need 1 success and you roll 2 d20s and you get 2 of them are successes, you can bank 1 because you only needed 1. Or you can say, I got 2 successes, so I did it way better. Okay.
Yeah.
Or you can bank it, and then now next time it's like, okay, roll 4. You're like, cool, I'm going to roll 3 d20s now. And there's other ways you can buy and acquire up to a maximum of 5 d20s at a time to roll them. It's pretty neat. Conan the Opera. Is that Klingon? I just discovered, that there is a Russian musical of Dragonlance. I feel like I knew this before, but I was looking at some Dragonlance art that just popped up in my feed on Instagram, and I clicked like a hashtag that was on it and started seeing people cosplaying as two specific characters. I don't want to give for spoilers when you've had time.
Yep.
And I'm like, why is this all in Russian? Why is everything they're writing is like Cyrillic alphabet? What's going on? So I started researching it, and yep, there's a freaking Russian. Hear the lamentation of the drought. Yeah, there's a Russian musical of Dragonlance. What is best in life? Crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentation of the drought.
That's a crossover event that I'm not sure we want, but I kind of do.
Hey, you give me that DM chair.
You just want to be the. Never mind. So.
I'm running a drow game.
That's very cool. The Russian Dragonlance opera is really good.
Oh, you get it?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I've watched the whole thing.
Did you cry?
Maybe a little.
It's not a good opera if you don't cry.
Yeah. I will tell you the end scene, it's really great. Like, they capture the flavor in the book of the choices that one of the characters has to make. And it's Russian. So of course, you're going to have that conflict and at the end, and it's good. It's really pretty good. It is 100 times better than the Dragonlance cartoon. But anyway.
Well, I don't know. That first movie for the Dragonlance cartoon, I can't remember what character it is they introduce, but it's a female character, and she walks up, and the camera is just a tight zoom right here.
No, I don't remember that.
And then it slowly pans out, but as it pans out, it goes down. So you get like a full body shot, and then it pans out more, and you've got the whole person. But it's like they're walking up, and it's just a zoom in on her chest, and it's like, yeah, this is such 80s prepubescent boy material.
Oh man,
no doubt, yeah.
Terrible.
In your country, kinder still stretch.
In my country,
in Soviet Union, kinder gives you things. Oh, where's Kinder tonight? I messaged him. He's not in the chat.
He would, yay!
He would love this Dragonlance
Cthulhu
talk.
Kinder. That would be awesome.
Oh, man. Yeah. In my country, Kinder runs Gulag. Are we getting loopy?
We are getting loopy, but think about the ideas we're having. I kind of want to run with this, so.
One day.
Anyway.
One day. I think you and I should tag team DM something. We're just gonna have to like drop a Roll20 link in the chat one day and be like, let's go.
Oh, that's a fantastic idea. That is a fantastic idea.
Yep.
We could do a Patreon drawing for it, like Roll20 chat, Roll20 game time. Oh my gosh, that'd be so much fun. We could do that. Oh, love it. Cool. Anyway, so
where can we find you on the internet, Brooke?
What?
Where can we find you on the internet?
Oh, you can find me at Twitter at Bullock Brook on Twitter, and that's kind of the place I hang out the best. I'm on Instagram too. I'm on Instagram at Brooke Bullock, but I'm an old man, so I'm still trying to figure out Instagram. But I need to post more things on